It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah! Movie Toast.
On the toaster pop. Love it. Hey, man. How you
It's the
doing?
Movie Toasty.
I guess we got a double dip there. Excuse me. Wow. Oh, I can't quite hear you.
There we go. My mic was muted.
There it is. There it is.
What's up? Episode
Hey, man.
182, Dennis. What's going on, man?
Oh, you know what? I've been keeping busy with some stuff, but I am excited for some films down the road. I gotta say.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah? Which ones? What do you got?
Look, I know not the biggest fan of trailers yourself, but I've always been a sucker for film trailers, just across the board, even the long running stuff that just makes no sense when you finally see the movie. But
Fair enough.
When you think of like film remakes, I feel like there's like that short list you probably have in the back of your mind of like, oh, that
Sure.
film is great. You should never have to make it again. Yet,
That's never that. Everything's on the table these days.
This is true. This is true because apparently Roadhouse obviously needed to be
Yes.
remade with Jake Gyllenhaal and some
Gyllenhaal.
fantastic selected actors and performers in this film. But they just recently dropped that trailer, and
Word.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of the original film. It's one of those where I'm just like, did we need to do this? I don't know. Maybe it could be fun. And then I see the trailer, I'm like, this is not inspiring anything that I recall from the first one, other than, we're in a bar, we're kicking the shit out of some people, but that wasn't even like the whole movie. There was a lot more arc to it, but whatever.
It's funny. I think it just premiered at Sundance or some festival, and I believe it's Doug Liman's the director, and he did not go to the premiere because he's pissed because they shot it to be theatrical, and I think it's just going straight to Paramount Plus, and he's pretty angry about that.
Yeah, I believe it's Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon.
Going
Sorry,
straight to
that
Amazon
makes
Prime.
sense.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I don't blame him. If I was told all along you're getting some sort of theatrical release, which it genuinely looks like it should have gotten, but you immediately see in the trailer some of the special effects were like, oh, this is something done. We assume you're seeing on the screen much smaller than that, and that was kind of a bummer. Other than the fight sequences they depicted.
Nice.
I will say that did look right, but
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Roadhouse is one of those movies I've never seen that I know I should see, but I have not.
it is definitely something that stands a testament of the era it came from. It is, but I feel if it's well shot, it has a great soundtrack. The cast is amazing. The choreography is awesome. The stunt, like it's one of those things where it's like, oh wow, as you're going through it, everything just is working the whole way through.
Nice.
It's definitely. I mean, you hear about it, it gets referenced, and I kind of felt like that was enough. And then by the time I finally got around to watching it, I was like, oh wait, never. Okay, like my experience with Rainbow, it's like okay, never mind. There is a whole other level that all of those references and things are just never going to actually address. And this is why we come back to it, because it really is that good. We're not just making fun of something. It's because we all
showing reverence for it.
Yes, truly. Now that's what it is. I still think that one is it's like the Steve McQueen movie Bullet. It's a time capsule.
Still, that's one on my list too.
Well, there you go. That would be an amazing double feature. It's one of those where it's a time capsule of when it was made, and it is so just from that time and what it is. And
dude, it's crazy. There's a whole chapter
so
in Tarantino's book on cinema just about that film alone, and what he just wrote describing the characters and just some scenes. It's like that's some hardcore shit. that like sounds like you probably couldn't pull off today.
You couldn't. And I feel like I've heard of it in development for like years and years now, of like a remake or some shit. I'm like, you can't do it. That's one you can't do again. Like,
I mean, they'll probably
you
attempt.
Just can't do it again. You just
Fair enough. What else you got? So are you on board? Are you going to be checking it out when it hits Amazon Prime in a couple of?
I'm going to be honest. It's going to be deposited straight into my home. Why not? I want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
You're paying for that
Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, yeah, exactly. I've already invested in this movie, so shit.
Are you paying the extra couple of bucks a year to get the commercial free Prime, or are you gonna stick with this commercial that they're starting to feed into Prime coming in the next?
I honestly am so used to what it is as it stands. I don't think I see a difference yet. Dude, we casually watch Pluto TV.
Fair enough. I can't fucking do it, dude. I don't know why. It eats at my soul. I don't know. And I like commercials, but I don't like watching the same commercial over and over again.
Breaks, man. That's when you go.
You know what a built-in potty break is? Pausing my fucking TV. That's built-in potty break.
But one of the things I like about, because I think you will identify with this too. We grew up in this era of when things were shaped to like, okay, we know we're gonna have to come to this. Yeah. Now this is where the edit should be. You
really push your boundaries of like, do I really need to take a piss right now? I can wait. I know it's coming. I know the break's coming. I'm gonna run. I got like 2 minutes to kill.
There's a small part of you that remember like,
sure,
that was the thing.
But does that make it good? I don't know. Not for me, but I get the nostalgia for it. I do.
But the story flow, it makes more sense when I feel at least the scene comes to a resolution, you know, like it. Yeah. Instead of, oh, I need to pee now. I pause it. We're mid punch. Now Hugh Jackman's about to slice off whatever on the, I don't know, just whatever the thing is. And I don't like the casualness of that ability to just stop the story. Because I was one of the films I'm reviewing today, it had such a wonderful cadence. I had to pause it several times, and it was so disruptive because it is like someone is just mid swing on a punch, or the thing is diving through the whatever it is. Like, I don't like the casualness that can bring up just pausing stuff. Like, it's fine if I've seen it a lot. But if I'm experiencing something for the first time, I kind of like that limit. Like going to the movie theater. You can't pause that. You got to decide whether or not I'm about to miss the next scene if I really need to pee that bad. Yeah. And that's, I don't know.
I get it. I'm not trying to shit over that. Yeah.
Oh, no. Of course. But
I also don't like, I guess the other thing that pisses me off about stuff like Pluto and places slicing in commercials is the timing of commercials. On some of these things, they'll cut at the most obscured moments, and that just takes me out. Or like you're like, should it? I don't know. It's weird,
thing, right? Like, no, I'm with you on that. Yeah. It's just when it's like Amazon used to be, where it would be like, okay, if I got to watch 2 little ads before starting the whole fucking movie, okay,
sure, I'll do it. Give me that long 3-minute commercial. Sure,
exactly. All right, I'm gonna watch a 5-minute trailer for The Boys. Okay,
I can do that. Exactly. I can walk in. I can go fuck off for 5 minutes and come back.
But if it's every 12 minutes, I'm seeing the same 3 ads for the next 3.5 hours. Yes, I am with you. That's where it's like it's that. I don't know. There's the trade-off, I guess.
Fair enough.
I totally understand. I totally understand that. But see, this is what it's all about, folks. Differing experiences, opinions, and watching movies here on Movie Toast.
Yes,
just like I know all of you guys have your. Oh no, you asked me about what the other trailer, and I was just already trying to transition.
You son of a bitch! You're trying to segue into polls, but it's not happening, buddy.
I was trying to segue, but you know what?
It was good. You were doing it. It was happening. I was ready to hit the button, and then you're like, "Wait a minute, let me go back."
The guilt kicked in. I was just nope. He said it. I
just power through. Pretend it didn't happen. Nobody would ever know.
We'll come back.
Now you open Pandora's box.
Now, you know what, guys? You're going to have to listen till the end of the show to find out what else.
Oh, the post credit. All right. Okay.
Bam.
I like that little teaser.
But until then, there's a Jingle Jangle, I know Adam and I fucking love in the show.
It's a good one.
See, I didn't uncheck loop track. That was my fault. Apologize.
Amateur hour here at Movie Toast. We do it. It happens. Shit happens when you're going live. Anyways, in the audio cut, that never happened because that shit gets trimmed anyways. But you're seeing it live in person, folks. All right, so up first, I have a poll. Last episode, 181, I reviewed The Book of Clarence starring Lakeith Stanfield. So I wanted to know what the Toasty's favorite Lakeith Stanfield film was out of the following. I'm talking Uncut Gems, Knives Out, fucking Get Out. A lot of outs he has. And Straight Outta Compton. That's like 3 outs in a row. But yeah, he likes that. Any of these sit with you? I don't know. You're like, none of them. Never seen them.
No, I've seen all 4 of them. And that's kind of the tough part is like you chose great things. They're all very different tones. I loved Uncut
But
Gems.
He's not always the star of these, unfortunately.
Exactly.
I almost put in the one that I know you would have voted for, probably. The Old Haunted Mansion. Oh, shit. I should have also put my favorite one in there. Sorry to Bother You, where it was Telemarketer. Fantastic film.
Oh, shit. Yeah, see? Look, this guy's all over the place. Now, that's the whole thing right there. Big fan of at least this much of a fan of the actor of all the 6 movies we just named. But Get Out, that painful performance he depicts of just
chilling.
That was so gut wrenching. Yeah, absolutely. But I really enjoyed Straight Outta Compton. But right? I mean, fucking
kicking into a review later on.
Exactly. Oh man. I think Get Out though. I just want to go back to the Michael B. Jordan man. Like
yeah, I get it.
No,
I agree.
Oh my God, no.
Jordan Peele.
Let's take that back. Jordan Peele. Fuck. That was the. I was thinking of the trailer I was going to talk about later that we're not talking about yet. So.
Monkey Man. All right, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it. All right, so the Toasties have spoken, Dennis. 0% for Uncut Gems. I'm a little shocked by that. Like, I know he wasn't a major player in it, but it was a big movie, so I figured maybe people would vote for it. But no, they said fuck it.
Makes sense.
Then we have a smooth 16.7% for Straight Outta Compton. Once again, he was kind of a co-star, not a main, but still a good performance.
I really like his that was awesome.
Right. And then we have 33.3% for Knives Out. I really enjoyed him working opposite of Daniel Craig as that fucking Longhorn Leghorn fucking character.
There were just so many, like, that's such a demanding thing with so many voices in that film. That's why I had a hard time choosing that one specifically, just among everything else.
Yeah, but I felt like he kind of held his own up with all these kind of crazy actors, like
he did.
Playing the straight man, which was kind of nice.
Absolutely,
yeah. But
absolutely,
like you voted 50%, half all the way in for Get Out. Like clearly, he killed it in the very few scenes he was in.
It's that horrifying just expression he gives of just you. It's
chilling.
Like, it's too late. You're already this far.
Oh God! What is he with the? Yeah, he's married to a older white woman, right?
Yeah,
his character. Yeah, chilling
and
stuff.
That all that conversation out in the garden just was so disgusting. When it really starts setting what's going on in there, that was so done.
Yeah. Ugh. And also on episode 181, I reviewed the film All of Us Strangers, starring Andrew Scott. And he's been in a lot of TV series. So I wanted to know what the Toastie's favorite series that Andrew Scott was in out of Black Mirror. He was in season 5, episode 2, Smithereens. Fleabag, he played the priest. Sherlock, he played Moriarty. And Band of Brothers, I assume he played a soldier. I don't know. Yeah.
Damn it. I know I've seen through that. I can't recall that episode of Black Mirror, but I've seen Band of Brothers through like 3 times. So I should.
But it's such an older show. It's like hard to probably remember everyone who's been in it.
Damn.
Understandably.
I mean, naturally, I feel like that would be the direction I'd go. It was such a moving show and very impactful to me that I would have to in that direction personally, I guess.
For me,
not
I
remembering
think
who
yeah, you'd have to see the guy's face to know who he is.
I'm gonna look at it right now. Yeah, I just
yeah. As you do that, I'll roll through some numbers here. 7.7% for Black Mirror. We have a tie here for 15.4 for both Sherlock and Band of Brothers, and leading 61.5% for Fleabag. Who doesn't love a priest that gets drunk and has sex with our main character in the show?
Sure.
He gave a great performance. Great actor. And I think he has a new Netflix show that I'm intrigued by that I want to check out. Speaking of Black Mirror, did you see supposedly now they're spinning off and giving the I.S.S. McAllister its own actual series that knockoff of Star Trek?
So
a little later,
be the show he watched, or would it be?
I assume. Yeah, I don't know.
Damn, that would be some twisted shit.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay. I mean, that's funny because it seems so fleshed out, but you're right. All they would have to do is kind of mimic a lot of pre-existing sci-fi TV series tropes.
And just give it some dark undertones.
Yeah, right. Or is it the years and years of him going back into?
I mean, that could be interesting as well.
Exactly. Because they're all starting to figure it out, because by the time that girl gets stuck in there, they're all just like in tears, freaking out because it's just this repeated hell. But maybe it's that first time they try to resist him or something.
Fuck. What a great show.
That it is.
I mean, yes, they've had some misfires in the later seasons, but still enjoyable and unique.
Yeah. You got to
almost like a Black.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say,
no.
When you're throwing that many stories out, like you're bound to miss a few, but you just keep trying, and I appreciate the effort of. At least
you never know what's going to hit.
Picture. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm along for the journey at that point. I'm not
like it's great how they can have all these different actors. You have episodes that are based in the UK, episodes in America, and it's just cutting back and forth, and you're still getting unique, interesting one-off stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind another Choose Your Adventure. Just saying. Love to.
That was a good one with Will Porter. Yeah. Good little episode.
Good time.
Yeah. Almost like a fucking Black Mirror episode. My first film reviewing is I.S.S. International Space Station, Dennis. So essentially, this is about 6 astronauts up in space at the International Space Station, living in harmony. You get 3 American astronauts, 3 Russian astronauts. One morning, they look out of their little hub down at Earth, and it looks like lava is spewing all over the planet. They don't know what's happening. Each group goes to their computer, tries reaching out to their hub back home, mission control, to see what's happening. And one side gets a message saying that America and Russia are at nuclear war with one another, and they're told to take control of the ISS by any means necessary. And that's then they lose connection. And then it's grappling with, did the other side get the same message that we got? Are we going to pretend we didn't get it? And who's going to do what? How are you going to react? Can you trust the people that you think you know and love? And shit gets really crazy in this movie. It's been getting ripped apart, honestly. I loved it, because it's such a contained space. It's a small section, and the CG looks really good. The acting's really good. We got a pretty fun cast, I think. Here we got Chris Messina, Adriana DeBose, fucking John Gallagher Jr., Pilo Asbak. I'm gonna fuck his name up, but homeboy Russian guy from Game of Thrones, and it's just six people, and it's really interesting because
awesome.
Contained
trailers are so fucking fun. I like sticking within boundary. So now that's like the concept of this sounds so awesome. I'm definitely gonna watch this at some point, I'm sure.
It's worth checking out. Yeah, 100%. And like I said, unfortunately, some people aren't digging it, but I had a blast watching it. Like everything was going for it. The acting was top notch. The story was rich. The sets were believable. The CG was pretty good. Just watching them kind of floating around was fun. And I don't know, it was contained. It was quick. It didn't feel like it dragged in any parts. And it's just interesting because you don't even know who to trust as you're watching it. You're you want to settle with one side, but then you kind of want to trust the other side. And it's just really fun. I'm going to give I.S.S. 2.5 slices of toast. Some scenes were a little cheesy. Nice. Some CG was a little cheesy, but overall it stuck the landing, I think.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
Yeah.
That's well worth the trip, man.
Heck yeah. Up next, I have a new little erotic thriller starring Martin Freeman and Jenna Ortega called Miller's Girl. I didn't know anything about this movie, but it's about a high school teacher played by Martin Freeman, and he has a pupil. He's a washed-up writer. He had one book written. Nobody really knew about it. He's teaching high school, and he has this one student who's really kind of mature, I guess you could say. She takes literature seriously. She reads these literature high schoolers don't read, and she becomes infatuated with him and wants to kind of push boundaries and kind of becomes obsessed with them. And it becomes this kind of will they, won't they kind of thriller. Is I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's unsettling. It's
creepy.
It's kind of a slow burn. Yeah. They're really over sexualizing Jenna Ortega here. And she's older than a high schooler, but it's just kind of weird because you're like, all right, he's a married man. Right. He's a teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And how wrong the context is.
Yeah. And they make it his wife is an alcoholic writer who doesn't even believe in him. She thinks he's a washed up writer. She doesn't respect him. Nobody really respects him besides this girl. So he's finally getting that gratitude he's always wanted. And
the attention. Yeah. Oh, yeah. God.
Ooh, and so weird. He gets a little extra attention than other students. And they're a little closer. He doesn't really overstep boundaries, but he does at the same time, and it's just unsettling, but it's shot beautifully. It looks rich. The writing's pretty sharp. The acting, they're two pretty good actors here, but it's just like, I'm not rooting for anybody in this story because everyone's kind of deplorable. Even his best friend is a coach at the school, and he flirts with students. He has pictures of students, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking gross. But he's a likable character, and it's just like, I don't care.
Well, I mean, maybe there's something to be said about the writing of it in that, like, because you reacted so strongly, because obviously all of these things are just morally deplorable. It's that sort of just like, I don't know. It sounds intriguing in that, like, you're able to make me feel so, like you're saying, so strongly about it's like they seem to be doing it right, even if it's grody.
And it's kind of unsettling. You get a lot of moments where you just want to laugh, and like me and another person in the theater were laughing, and then like there was only like 3 of us in the theater. Like the guy behind me wasn't really laughing, but another guy was laughing, and I'm like, all right, he gets this black dark humor. And but like the sets were kind of rich. It kind of had this gothic vibe to it a little bit, and I don't know. Overall, I had a good time watching it. I wouldn't say rush out to the theater and see it, but like if it's on a streamer in a couple of months, I'd say it's worth checking out. I'm going to give Miller's Girl, currently in theaters, 2 slices of toast.
No, fair enough.
Yeah. But you got a new Netflix film, I believe, right?
I do. It's one I am I randomly stumbled upon, but as soon as I saw the particular cast that showed up in it, I really wanted to check it out. It's the new excuse my pronunciation of the name, Ma Dong-seok, the South Korean actor that co-starred in Train to Busan, is this badass action flick called Badland Hunters. This is a post-apocalyptic universe where, I mean, it's not one of those where it's like, oh, it's a zombie outbreak or it's a this or that or whatever. There was just a really bad earthquake that happened, kind of decimated the landscape. Water's really hard to come by. But there's this doctor that he was experimenting on some really fucked up reptilian sort of regrowth experiments to try, like, an attempt to make the human body withstand a whole lot of abuse, punishment, regrow limbs and stuff, because his daughter was dying and he was struggling desperately to figure out how to cure her. But in the process, he killed 100 people. The police kick in the door. He's about to employ his like most recent version of the serum, and then as he's like sticking the syringe in, this is when the earthquake hits, comes crumbling down.
Oh shit!
Small police, like all of the SWAT team, they get killed. There's a couple of survivors that live through the event, and it's the whole setup being there's some fucked up shit out there in the desert, but there's these small blossoming communities 3 years later after this event that are just doing what they can get by. And that's when we meet our heroes that they're just kind of local hunters. They acquire meat and they trade their meat for other people's local wares. So there's a promise of an amazing far off land. You can go live there, but it turns out this is where this doctor is practicing all of his experiments once our characters get there. The story is not like outrageously surprising, but what's really fun is the ride itself, and the cast just kicks the shit out of this movie. Every frame of this thing not only is shot well, but their performances are really funny. I mean, I don't fucking know Korean, but the way they're carrying themselves in frame and just the way everyone's talking to each other, I feel like I really appreciate the cadence of things. It's funny at the right times, it's serious at the right times, and it's just badass over the top gore in the right times too. And it's a wonderful mix of all of those things. The runtime isn't even that long. It's only an hour and 47 minutes, and it goes by like lightning, because once the story starts, you're just banging through scene to scene. We already know this because he was in Internals. Like I said, he was in Train to Busan. Mm-hmm. His combat scenes are just so badass, and just he already knows what to do and how to carry himself through all this action, that it's just so entertaining to see all of the sequences take place, and it never gets dull. Either we're watching something badass happen, or we're cultivating more story, building the intrigue, and it honestly starts to bend in weird directions by the end when you finally get a couple little, not big twists, but they just reveal some fucked up things at the end that were kind of a fun ride to go on. And it was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting literally zero from this. I went into it blind, but I watched the Netflix trailer, which is where I watched the film, folks. And Badland Hunters, I will give 3 slices of toast. It was so cool. It's just one of those fun, action-y movies of just suspend the disbelief, go for the ride. There are going to be things that are going to be over the top. Like I said, it's gory as fuck. It's a hard R, not just in the language, but just the gore gets pretty ridiculous. But I kind of found it entertaining because it was too ridiculous. So it was a fun time.
That's awesome.
I really think you would dig
it. Once you gave me the title today, when I was putting this slideshow together, I'm like, shit, that just sounds like a good title. Then I saw the poster. I'm like, that looks badass. And it's funny, like you mentioned this actor, our lead star here, who's a homeboy from Train to Busan and the Eternals. Yes. When I was on Korean Air, when I was flying to Seoul a couple of months ago, they have Korean movies and American movies on board. And when I was looking through the Korean movies, I saw this guy in like 8 to 10 different movies available on the flight alone, and they were all different genres. This guy apparently can do it all. Like, I want to see more of him in America.
Back through his IMDb, in the last like decade, he's pumped out like anywhere from 3 to 5 movies a year, spanning wildly different genres. Like, it's like this. He can fucking do it, man. No, this is man. I will now watch anything that he shows up in if he's a main character, at least. Like, it just proves he's got some stock in it and that he's going to execute it to a certain standard, that's for sure. But there's like 2 or 3 series I saw that he stars in. I'm like, I'm gonna go try to seek these things out now. That's like you're saying,
insane, and he's a great actor.
Should be good stuff. Yes,
I'm intrigued. This is on my list. I'm gonna definitely check it out after that recommendation.
Seriously, oh no, dude, it's fun. It's fun. This is one of those I think you're gonna get if someone's walking through the living room, they might get drawn in where it just like I said, there's just enough comedy in the right scenes, and it just enough intrigue, but just the visuals were great. Now the only thing I will say is some of the CG is like it gets shorted a little bit, but I can forgive that when they have so many practical effects that exist in this movie. That was very impressive. And then it's like I said, the writing isn't like nothing's a big surprise, like except for like 1 or 2 little things. But I can forgive that when the whole journey is a whole lot of fun. So
fair enough. But I also got excited because the title of your film kind of sounds similar-ish to my next film. I have a movie that's coming out February 16th into theaters called Land of Bad. I knew nothing about this movie. It was a mystery movie that Regal Cinemas recently put out. It's about a Delta Force team that's going on a rescue mission. And unfortunately, everyone in this task force essentially dies except for a rookie officer who honestly wasn't really supposed to even be there. And he has to get from where his whole team was pretty much obliterated in front of him. He has to get to an extraction point, which is pretty far away from where he is and kind of avoid all these hostiles. And it's literally 48 hours of him going through hell. And he's kind of being guided and kind of has connections to this drone operator pilot who's kind of watching him from afar, trying to keep him cool under pressure, help him out. Okay. And I knew nothing about it. And the drone operator is played by Russell Crowe, and the rookie is played by Liam Hemsworth. And honestly, this movie, once I saw it, because it's a mystery movie, I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, fuck, it's a war movie. I don't care about this bullshit. And I saw Russell Crowe. I'm like, all right, Russell Crowe, he's a good actor. And like, you're seeing him at the base in Reno, Nevada. He kind of seems like he has OCD and like everything pisses him off. And all these rookies are watching like NBA playoff games. And like, he's just getting pissed off as like nobody's doing their jobs. And I'm like, I can get behind this character. I totally get it. And then like, you keep cross-cutting to this team, giving this rookie shit, saying, hey, you better keep your cool out there, because if anything happens, we don't have time to save your ass. And then ironically, they all pretty much die. And it's like, haha, looks like the rookie knew what he was doing. But the action was so fucking like intriguing and intense. Like there was explosions. They were fucking great and in your face. It was brutal, bloody. Some of it played like a first person shooter, and it just was gripping. And I was totally on board this whole time. Like, and they would cross cut. There was a really intense scene later on in the movie where essentially Russell Crowe already put in like well over the amount of overtime that he's allowed to get. And he's sent home, and you see him going shopping at like this fucking store looking for food for his pregnant vegan wife. And like, he's just being goofy going around shopping, and it's cut with the most intense shit you'd ever seen as like this Liam Hemsworth is going through hell. And then you just keep always having something to cut away to that's intriguing. But it's like, oh, I kind of want to know what's going on with fucking Russell Crowe looking for some vegan fucking nut goat cheese. But holy shit, that guy just did that over here with Liam Hemsworth. It was just the perfect amount of like comedy and action, but it's not a comedy movie. But it has these moments of brevity that really takes you out of it in a good way. And then it's just bam, in your face action. Like, and I think it's roughly right around 2 hours, but it was a thrill ride to watch. Landed bad.
Nice.
Yeah. I believe it's going to have a theatrical release right around Valentine's Day weekend. So if you don't want to watch anything cheesy, you can get behind this one with Russell Crowe. And it also has Luke Hemsworth. And I'm like, oh, shit, 2 of the Hemsworths, but not the one I know. But all right. But I really, really felt like this Liam guy. He was pretty good. Like, it was pretty believable. And there's some other faces in there that you'll kind of be like, oh, that person or that person. And it was really fun. I really liked it. Nice. I said, if you like that type of movie, I highly suggest you check it out. If you don't like it, also worth checking out because it's not my cup of tea, but this one worked.
No, you told me on the concept already, and then it sounds like the Hemsworthiness is pretty high. Given the blood of 2 of them within the film. So.
But it's so funny because I don't know the other Hemsworth. Yeah, no, it totally was. Oh man. I think you'd like it, and the sound design is pretty bombastic and whatnot.
Oh, nice.
From the action.
I'm almost a sucker for that. Awesome. No, shit. No, you sold me on that, dude, for sure.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. And I our next movie, I kind of sweet talked you into it, but I'm intrigued to see what you have to say about it.
Twist my fucking arm, man. I was like, oh, what's this? A movie about football and Snoop Dogg? Oh, man. Fuck. I would never want to watch that. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. As soon as you told me what the plot was, like, oh, I'm sold. I'm all about it. We're talking about the Underdoggs. So this is, as I like you worded it to me, what is it? A Mighty Ducks, Bad News Bears-esque film, but told in the present day, about a like a sort of a Pee Wee football team coached by a ex-NFL star played by Snoop Dogg. I was scared. I thought he was just producing it. No, he's starring in it.
You'd think so. No. It's funny because like I watched this with one of my cousins and he's like, Snoop Dogg is acting? And I'm like, yeah, man, he's been in a bunch of things, but he's like, he's starring in this. And I'm like going through his like profile of movies. I'm like, you're right. He's normally always like a tertiary character, but this was him front and center. Yeah.
Right. It was an interesting story as far as like, so the fact that you've got this NFL player, he's an asshole. He kind of had a spike in his career because he had some talent back in the day, but he got so full of himself, it all come crumbling down when he just never found that team. It never worked out. Right. He comes from the hood and he comes from Long Beach. He's got that cousin that's like still banging that knows him by name and like recognizes him off the street. Like Mike Epps, which was Mike Epps stole every fucking scene he was in. He was funny.
His intro scene is my favorite, I think. Or him talking about the Mighty Ducks. Those two scenes I really enjoyed.
Gordon Bombay. Oh my god. As soon as he said this, I go, I see why Adam said it that way. But I recognized immediately it had a good amount of heart. I was not I was not expecting this, like, even though it's like this R-rated tongue-in-cheek. I mean, we see a little league football team's worth of kids getting drunk off a light beer in a pool in one scene. And it's still just like so charming. And I still found it very motivating. And I loved the underlying tone of the whole movie and the message of it, that like, and it just kept making me chuckle. I mean, every scene.
Oh yeah. I had moments.
I was laughing at. It was never like, the dialogue was honestly not good.
And
it was really
it was bad. But what really right out of the get-go, what really got me was our intro title card, which reads like a script that you and I are working on that is just like telling you what you're in for right out of the get-go. It's like a movie with kids, but there's curses because kids say the most fucked up shit. They curse way more than you think they do.
And it's like it just goes into that Snoop Dogg sort of tone, and just like, okay, and like, but that was something that was honestly kind of reassuring to me, and reassuring to me as the viewer of this film specifically, of like, okay, if this is what I'm in for, you're telling me right up front.
Yep.
This is
You know what you're getting into.
I can't be mad at what you show me after this now.
Tongue in
it's
cheek.
Really bad.
His manager or agent is played by Cal Penn, and then he gets mad at him. He's like, "Fuck you, you Harold and Kumar looking bastard." And then there's a scene where he's sentenced to court, and he's like, "Oh, boy, like Martha Stewart," and I'm like, talking about his best friend Martha. There's so many scenes.
Sources,
yeah,
like, you can tell there's those things that he has to reference the people he enjoys, the teams he likes. I mean, I get one of my favorite all-time New York Giants. Michael Strahan is in this movie. A bunch of those like football talking heads. I fucking love that so much. And Michael Strahan must have laughed so fucking hard at seeing that scene go by. But it was so. That was the other thing. Is like I love watching my like Sunday football and stuff, and it hit all those marks. You had all the right faces. The way he talked about the game versus the way the players were talking about being in the moment, even at that age, like it just took me back to those days of playing football in middle school and shit. And I loved that sort of setup, although it was larger than life. But it's like I recognized it as growing up watching the Mighty Ducks, and then I am now the age that I am. But trying to make a movie like that for me now, this is how you would do that. And
it's very by the book.
All over it. Like, it is.
You know where it's going.
Yes.
But it's still enjoyable. And like, I love he has a podcast. He's recording it in his bed. He's recording it out by the pool. He's recording it in the car. It's just wherever he's at. He's like, I'm going to record this fucking podcast.
And he's got that voice that I love that they kind of used it as like the sort of chapter or act break of like bridging the scenes together, and he can just talk and flow. Like I was just like, yeah, well, of course I would listen to that as a podcast on its own. But it was, I appreciated your warning of like, this is not going to be a great movie, but I gotta be honest, I had a lot of fucking fun. And Val watched it with me, and she's like, this was actually really good. I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, I don't know.
There was a lot of moments where I was calling things out. Like there's a lot of things that's like, really, like George Lopez is his like coach from high school, but George Lopez didn't age, and they're about 10 years apart in age in general.
Exactly.
Like
I was gonna say, it's like we're not far enough. That's the first thing I said. Is like, aren't they like only a few years apart in age? Like, is this just so Snoop can feel a little younger?
like it's just.
Profanity the age thing bugs me too. Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. There's so many little things that I called out, but overall, I did enjoy watching it. But it's like, and you can tell that they like block shot a lot of things because like, we're back at this scene and that scene, or there's always like just the one parent there, the love interest for the most part.
The teams, the jersey colors and the names don't line up throughout the entire film. You have the bracket for what the whole season looks like. And not only do they swap jersey colors, but the names change, and then they go back to the green team and all that shit. But at one point, the enemy, like the antagonist team is green on the bracket. Like it gets silly. It gets quite silly.
And like nothing is at stakes here. Like he's initially sentenced to do community service by picking up dog shit in the LBC, and then he stumbles upon this team, and he's like, I just called the judge, and now I'm just going to coach you guys. That's my community service. Right. And you're like, I know what's going to happen at the end of the second act, and I know how it's going to all be resolved, and fucking nothing is at stake here. Like, He screams at these kids. He swears at the kids. Nobody gives a fuck. He gets the kids drunk. Nobody gives a fuck. He drives his fucking Escalade onto the field all the time. Nobody cares. They play on like some like weird youth park in the middle of like nowhere. Whatever.
Right.
Like it's just there's so many things that is just thrown out there, but it works. That's the charm of it somehow. Like you can tell that it was a very low budget thing, but they made the best out of what they had.
There's so
and
many
I feel like they just let Mike
self-fulfilling
Epps go
aspects of it.
wild improv. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, I feel like there's certain scenes they only could just kind of have like a framework of the script, and Snoop can say whatever the fuck he wants. Mike Epps can say whatever the fuck he wants. Everyone else needs to read the fucking dialogue so they can go and do what they want to, which is fine because it works in this. Like you said, it works in this film. But all those things you mentioned, I 100% agree in that it's all just like these self-fulfilling moments of like, I might be taking fragments of my personal childhood or like stories I've heard or my friends' experiences, and I'm going to put them, depict them in this movie, and then exaggerate them. You know, I'm going to turn that fucking dial up to 11, and well, you know, like you said, bad news bears. We're going to make it so over the top and ridiculous that this is, I guess, the modern day version, you know, the present day version of this sort of story. But
it's not the Linklater fucking Billy Bob version. It's the more urban version. And it also kind of played a little bit like fucking Snoop Dogg's version of like fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm. But I don't understand why he got community service or why he was in trouble. He got hit by a bus and then he got in trouble. I was a little lost at that. I don't know.
I think it was the suggestion that they could probably pin he was under the influence of something and then sped out in front of, like, he was speeding. He didn't like, I think it's, we got to pin the main character down. You know, but
I think we should have seen him drinking or something. We know he's getting high, but it's like, we should have seen him like
Bombay scene. We got to see him throwing back the bottle while behind the wheel, right? Like maybe, I would like to believe they might have shot something like that, and maybe that was
it just didn't work. They cut it, edited it.
You don't just see it; we just let it happen, and we get that crazy CG shot of the LA bus.
Oh, that bus was so bad. It's like, what? This is like a weird GTA style.
This is not an effects driven
orange light bus.
It was so obvious it was an LA County like bus. It's that classic gray orange.
The orange and gray.
And then shot the whole thing in Atlanta. So, which makes sense. Good breaks.
There you go.
So,
and then to find out in the credits that Snoop Dogg has a youth football team, like for underage
had a team since I was in high school. No,
I never knew that.
Football. He had a TV show, I want to say, that only lasted like a season or two on E. No, he has been like a youth football coach for over a decade.
Like, that's crazy to me, but I love it.
He's been so serious about it. No, it's pretty awesome actually. That all of that, like you were about to mention, all of the still photos they show at the end, like the main driving force of why he wanted to make the movie, which I get it. He's making a movie to celebrate the concept.
Sure. It's kind of like a commercial for his league.
More or less, yeah. And it's like I'm all about that. Not that I'm going to support his particular league because fuck, he's got the millions.
You fucking piece of shit.
But like,
he needs all the money he can get.
He like one of like his old tour bus or something he used as his team's like fucking. He wrapped it in team colors and kitted it all out just for the kids to like. That's what they drove. There's a picture of it in the end of the movie. He drove that to their games, and the intimidation factor of like you're all sitting there dropped off your mom's minivan and you just snooped out.
I don't know how badly did they have to air it out, or did it just reek of weed when the kids were in it? Like that's what I want to know.
He professionally paid for it to be all, you know, like get it done right.
It
was funny. It was that the rival team, the way they rolled out in the field. I just imagine, oh my god, that had to be what it was like when Snoop's team rolled up on you. Just came out, American flag. We're gonna shred your face off. The spirit of the film, I loved so much.
Yes,
it was funny. The logic is just out the window, though. It's just really
can't. And the kids, their victory dances is the 2J victory. They're smoking two blunts. You get these little kids double fisting blunts, and it's like, okay, cool. We're at that point. Fuck it. Why not?
Exactly.
Oh man. What a decent little movie. This is over on Amazon Prime in Prime Original. It's Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely not for everyone, but it's not as bad as you
No.
could imagine it.
It's exactly. I feel like it's so made for our generation, especially if you like have that kid you were already starting to put through that like youth league sport, but you kind of you just retained all of your memories of these things. It's just it's a fun, ridiculous movie. It was such a trip, man. I want to give the Underdoggs 2.5 slices. I'll recognize its flaws, but I can't mark it against just the good time I had watching it. That's for sure.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'll be close. I'm gonna give it 2 slices myself. But
nice.
Not bad. Yeah, definitely worth checking out if you like Snoop, you like football, you like little uplifting family-ish movies. It is an R movie, I would say. Probably R.
It is.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, family-ish is like honestly the best description of that. Don't actually watch it with your family unless you're all like, R-rated and up fans. But
yeah. But I think that pretty much brings us to the end here, Dennis.
That it does.
Yeah.
Adam, I got to mention, we've got a fair amount of entries into the film festival already.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like a surprising volume. So
for folks, just 1 month in.
Please, it's the entries are going to get fast and furious before we know it. By the time we're catching up to things, please try to get your short film entered as soon as you can. It's purely for the distribution of getting you guys in front of an audience. This is a low-cost, fun short film festival that we love sharing online. Please come join us again. We had so much fun the last fucking 3 years now.
It's going by quick.
Excited for this. Exactly, right? God. We've already got some toast themed entries. So something to consider.
We have a fucking we have a short called Toast. Yeah, dude, we don't gotta hide it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we were excited about a movie about a toaster in season 1. Now we're just dealing straight up toast in this shit. Hey, I love it.
Still a high bar. Madame Grenier is
it's a toughie. You gotta clear it
there on the list.
Our first ever Golden Toaster Award winner.
That
hard to beat.
That it was. Oh man! But we have so much fun watching your guys' films, and we're so excited to share the most creative, the most passionate short films that really just are flexing their muscles and getting themselves out there. Put yourselves out there and take that risk. Please submit filmfreeway.com/movietoast. The festival. It's always a good time. Come check it, and at least come check it out on YouTube. This December TBD. So
if I'd have guessed somewhere around like the 15th, 16th, normally the week before Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. The mid-month ish. Yeah,
probably right around one of the nights of Hanukkah. Probably, if I had to guess. I don't know. I'm not looking at a calendar or anything.
That's a fair bet.
Yeah, and it's free to watch. It's up for a weekend, and then it's gone. And honestly, these shorts have been getting better and better each year. Like Dennis says, we want to see your work. We always talk about these big Hollywood movies, but we like talking about smaller movies that some people would never have seen because we know how much work and how much effort and how much fun and love goes into making these things. We want to spread the joy, man. And I don't know. It's definitely worth doing, I think. But if you don't want to do that, we get a lot of social media accounts. We got fucking Facebook. We get TikTok, Instagram, fucking Threads, YouTube, all pretty much over at movie_toast. Please subscribe. It's you're getting a video pretty much every day, little clips of this live broadcast, different movie reviews, maybe trailer reviews, interviews with writers, directors, actors, whatever, different things always popping up over on our fucking stuff. And I don't know, it's an all right time, I think.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe
I can't complain about it.
Maybe you like the podcast, maybe you don't like the podcast. there's only one way we can improve the podcast, and that's by getting your feedback. If you go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and leave a review or email us at our Movie Toast email address, which is movietoastnewsandreviews@gmail.com. Let us know what you like, what you dislike, what you want to see, what works. Maybe there's a movie or two that you want us to talk about. Tell us. Let us know. Please. Yeah.
Yeah, we won't know unless you fill us in, and the comments, the reviews. Please, I highly encourage all of you to just voice your opinions. We're all about the fun community of watching movies together. That's how the show started. That's what we want to try to maintain. But if you're unable to let us know what you're thinking and you're just here to keep listening, keep watching, the only thing we could ask of you is to please stay toasty.
That's for sure. Thank you for checking out the show, everybody.
We appreciate it very much. Let's get jazzy with it now.
All right, tell me about Riz Ahmed and Old Monkey Man.
Okay, so yeah, Monkey Man looks so badass. I mean, of course, I was drawn in by the Jordan Peele, like, brought to you by, and then the Dev Patel mention was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, hold on.
Did I say Riz Ahmed? My apologies.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
We'll just clean all that up. It's all right. So we'll straighten the names out, please.
Well, no, I haven't seen. I've only seen the poster. I'm trying to avoid the trailers. I might do a trailer talk, but I hear that this might be given John Wick action style vibes.
That is not wrong. It is so visually stunning, and just like the sets, the color, the wardrobe, the story even depicted in such a like. I was just like, oh, fuck. It's one of those where I feel like I'm getting a strong taste of the story, but I haven't learned near enough yet. The perfect volume of that should be cut into a trailer. God damn. I am very excited for this one. It looks so fucking cool. The music is awesome. Nice. And the little bit of comedy touched around was really funny too, which I was not expecting. It was so serious. And then you get him like running into the pane of glass at the end of the hallway. I'm like, oh, okay, you made me laugh in the trailer. That's one solid chuckle in a very well-placed location. That was good. I'm pumped for this one. This looks like a good time. This is one I really want to see in the theaters. That's for sure.
I bet. Yeah.
Man, no, I don't know. I don't want to overhype anything or like assume too much.
Please, why not?
But it looks really fucking cool, and it's that sort of in camera fighting action where they're not doing a lot of swish pans, cutaways and shit. Where it just looks so visceral and physical. I was just like, oh fuck, yes, okay, that's awesome. And then I was saying about the costumes, the wardrobe and stuff looks really cool. You get these crazy out of context shots of it's people in mat. You see the monkey mask, and you see all of these other suggestions of like god or goddess type characters or people dressed in that wardrobe, and it's very it looks so awesome, and I feel like it's a movie theater screen would do it justice. So that's why I don't want to wait for it to be on streaming, because I want to see it in the scale that I feel like the film clearly was shot to be
meant to be seen. Yeah.
Monkey Man, holy fuck.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like I'm all about
dude, once I heard the title, I'm like, that's a pretty cool title. Then I saw the poster, I'm like, that's kind of ominous and fun looking. And then seeing the names on the poster, I'm like, okay, pedigree there, that's pretty decent. So yeah, yes. That sounds like a fun time.
Thank you, Reddit sponsored ads. It was just like, wait a minute, what? Oh, what's that? Okay, all right. Well, I will click that link to YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I think you piqued my interest. I think after we finish up here, I might do a trailer talk on that, checking it out and tossing it up this week. Yeah, and I also got to check out that Roadhouse trailer. Hey, it's only 1:04 right now, and where are we at weather-wise? When I last checked, it was 35 degrees at 11:33, and wow, yeah, you know, it's It's 34 and snowing now, it says on my phone. And honestly, I feel nice and warm. So, yeah, fuck it. But we're about to hit an hour here. Nah, it's all good. Oh, all right. I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. Thank you all for listening.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, seriously. Appreciate you joining us. Hope to catch you next time, folks.
Stay toasty.
You too.